Hello, this is the Bearsford Podcast with AP and KP, and as always, go Bears! We have another special guest, as always. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Brock Morrison, head girls varsity basketball coach.
Yeah!
Thank you.
Yeah! Brock, we're happy to have you, and it happens to fall right after our girls basketball episode, so that actually works out well.
Hey, long-time listener, first-time caller here. Thrilled to be on the show.
Hey.
Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. I love it. The podcast has gained some popularity this year because we're actually putting it out every week, almost every week, compared to 2 episodes last year.
Hey, I've listened to a couple episodes when I'm on the road.
Yeah.
It kills the time.
Hey, see? That's what you need.
So that's what we're here for.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Brock? However you want to do it, growing up and all that stuff, or
obviously Brock Morrison, 2008 graduate of Winchester High School. I know that's not a huge.
Hey, you made the change to here. Right?
Yeah, right. I guess I'm a Golden Bear now. I guess that's what I told the girls in the locker room. 2012 graduate Anderson University, business degree. Played 4 years basketball over there. My wife and I live in Fishers. 2 little girls, Sage and Sadie. So Sage will be 4 in February. Sadie will be 2 in May. So,
okay.
Sage was born my first year here, so this will be my 6th year at Monroe Central overall. So,
it's wild it's been that long.
Work for a company out of Muncie called Flow Solutions. Handle all of our Indianapolis operations. So, I make the long trek to Monroe Central every day to coach these kids, and so hopefully they realize the sacrifice that my kids and my wife and my job are making for these kids. But no, I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's what I'm talking about. Brock, we're glad to have you here, and like we said, you made the transition to MC, so not too bad.
Can't hold that over.
Yeah. Tell us, I guess, how did the girls basketball coach this coaching job come to you? How did you get this, or did you want to be here, or did it just pop up, or?
Well, I was here a long time ago. Well, a long time now. You were still in high school my first year here. It was like 2000 and 2012. I was on the boys' side. Mm-hmm. Gung-ho to coach boys basketball, right? Like dying to be a head coach on the boys' side right out of college. And I coached with Rick Brown, who's been my varsity assistant ever since I've been here. Give him a round of applause. Rick Brown.
Absolutely, yeah.
We should have Rick on.
Downtown Ricky Brown. And but he's been with me since the start here. And so I was an 8th grade coach, and he was a 7th grade coach on the boys' side back then. Put my big boy pants on and got a big boy job down in Indy, and had to give up coaching for a few years. And when I moved back this way, worked at Astral for 6 years over in Lynn. My sister and I actually took on the girls' job over there. That's how I got into it. Was tired of being an assistant on the boys' side. Wanted to run your own show, right? Like you want to be your own boss. So it's like, okay, let's go coach girls and see what that's like. And here we are. This will be my 8th year, and be my 6th year at Monroe Central. And people ask me all the time if I'm interested in coaching boys, and I got 2 little girls now on my own, so it's kind of I guess I'm on the girls' side until I quit. Right. So
hey, nothing wrong with that.
Being a girl dad is the best.
Yeah. Girls dad is the best. Yes. Blood pressure gets a little high, pockets are a little thin. Yeah.
I'm only a couple of years in. You got a little bit on me here, but it's fun. Let's talk about the Winchester game because it's fresh. Listeners or viewers, if you were there, you know how electric it was. You want to tell us a little bit about the Winchester game Saturday?
Well, honestly, the environment was probably second to none. I mean,
impeccable.
There was a really good crowd both ways, and I'm a sucker for a good old-fashioned county rivalry, right? Like Winchester Monroe Central goes back quite some time, and you remember playing those games when you're in high school. But going in, I don't really want to talk about the first 3 quarters, right? Like, it was
a wash.
Like if you go back to the game, the first 3 quarters, or if you're a coach, that's not the start you draw up, right? But really happy with the way our kids responded. 4th quarter, we came out and we're a completely different team, and all of a sudden we started executing the game plan that we wanted to start the game with, and we got after their guards and pressured their guards quite a bit, and once the momentum fell our way and things just started falling into place, and then, Charlie Morris was the hero at the end of the 4th, making the shot. And
I wish I would have been recording that, dang it. I wish Heath has it. I guarantee you Mr. Heath Dumper has got it.
I'm telling you right now, like I don't know what was going on, but every time we made a big play in the 4th, my eardrum about busted. Kids are jumping up off, and people in the crowd yelling back and forth at each other. And honestly, for a regular season game, it was about as good as you can ask for a regular season game. So, we're going to have another shot at them here in the county tourney coming up in a couple weeks, but hopefully it helps our girls turn the corner. We've had several conversations behind scenes and about trying to be consistent and playing hard all the time and wanting it, and we did all those things at Winchester on Saturday night. So the drive home was pretty pleasant.
Yeah. It was good. Where's it going? I probably should know this being the assistant AD, but who do we have in the girls' county to begin with? I feel like I should know that.
So we open up with Union.
Okay.
Then we play Winchester.
Okay.
So Winchester got the first round bye, and then we have the winner of Randolph Southern Union City, which we'd like to get that. We'd like to get back to Saturday night and have a chance to get the key back and be back-to-back county champs. But we talk about nobody gives you anything. Winchester's for sure not giving you anything. Right?
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now.
And it's going to be there.
I mean,
It's at the field house.
It never will, but
Yeah.
Oh, it is at the field house.
So hopefully, and Sydney's close to being back. Hopefully we get her back for the county tourney. We've got 6 freshmen, and they're coming along, and the learning curve is always large for freshmen coming in. But, Addie and Maley and Avery have, steered the ship in Sydney's absence. So we're, we're looking to regroup and turn the corner.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you about, having 3 seniors, a junior, and 6 freshmen.
That's a lot of
total.
freshmen.
Well, obviously, as a coach, it's great to have have people. You look at like Addie and Maley, and they've played for 4. They played for me for 4 years. They understand what I expect. They kind of feel when I'm, my blood pressure is getting a little high. They kind of understand what maybe what's coming during practice or games or whatever. But the freshmen, the big learning curve, and they come in first practice like, oh my God, we're scared, coach. It's like, what am I going? I'm not going to eat you.
That's what they told me too. Like, I'm like,
what are you scared of?
I'm not going to eat them, right? But
what's there to be scared about?
But the best part is like getting to know them, right? Because that's
the whole thing, man.
You have Avery and you have Addie, you have Maley, you have Sydney. Like for 4 years,
great girls.
So now you couldn't really ask for better seniors. Those 3 girls are so incredible.
No, they're solid as they get. And personality wise too, right? Like for normally you have a relationship, a positive relationship with 1 or 2 kids, and I have a really good relationship with all 3 of those, 4 of those juniors and seniors, and but they've let me in, right? And now it's the freshman's turn, right? So are they gonna, are we gonna be scared to coach all year long, or are we gonna cut it up, or are we gonna
get to know you,
because it's inevitable. Like I'm not gonna be happy most of the time.
Right? that's a coach's job.
Coaching things, right?
Right, most of the time. But like Lily Conkle, we were here yesterday doing our ECI stuff, and I was like, Lily, you better bring this energy to practice tomorrow. Like I ain't never heard her talk so much. I'm like, where's this been?
You never heard her talk so much? Okay, come to my room at lunch sometime.
No, well, I'm not in the building, right? I'm not in the building, and we go out, and she's like, Coach, I'm scared of you, and I'm like, what are you scared of me for? Ain't nothing to be scared of me for.
For what reason?
I like to cut up with the best of them, right? But when it's time to go, like, let's go. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what we've got to learn. So.
Yeah. If I was needed to have somebody to have my back, I think I would choose Lily Conkle because I think she would have it and punch somebody for me. That is a good. And the 6 freshmen are a great group too. And of course, now I've watched them grow up since I've been here a decent amount. But the first year you took over was 2019?
COVID year, right?
2019,
so,
2020.
going into COVID, 19, 20,
2020,
yeah. We had a really good group that year.
That was
Hannah Bolton, Brooke Bolton, Gabby Beckham, Katie Pike, Allie Morrison, and Hannah McCollum.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a really good group.
Yep.
That was an awesome group. Like that's a group I wish I could have coached for 4 years. Like, Like
hey, at least you got them on tail.
They were great kids.
Yeah.
Bronco. I mean, obviously this is season 6. You said.
Yeah.
For you?
Season 6.
What are some highlights over the years that you could say kind of stick out to you over just at MC, I guess?
Well, obviously our 2 county tourney wins, right? So 19, 20, and then last year. Anytime you can win a championship, that's special.
Oh yeah.
But like we talked about in the locker room last night, the most special part about it for me is the journey. Mm-hmm. Like every year is every year you lose a couple, you gain a couple. Sometimes you lose 1, sometimes you lose 6. Mm-hmm. And the journey for me and getting to know kids and for kids to let you in and get to know them personally and what they like to do outside of basketball. And that's probably my favorite part about it. That and just the game overall, right? Like basketball's been a part of my life forever.
Right.
So, not only did I want my own program, but like you want to do things your way. You want to be able to cut up with the kids. You want to be able to be serious, and you want kids. The goal is when I'm an old man and you got kids running around that are you coach and they're 40 years old,
Right.
they come up and
talk to you,
give you a hug or ask you for a letter of recommendation.
Yeah.
That's the cool part.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's really the cool part about coaching.
Yeah, when kids come back to games and stuff, and that's the best part.
Yeah.
I love seeing. The
Or
kids.
they seek you out, like you're out in public and they come from
They
4
see
aisles
it.
over
Yeah.
and they're like,
Say-
"Hey, coach,"
say hey, yeah.
right? Or they're trying to get their first job and they're like, "Hey, will you write me a letter of recommendation?" Like, sure will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right? Like, guarantee it.
Yeah.
Like,
Ask me
Exactly.
again.
like you just wait on people.
I've gotten a few of those
because there's
too,
no
yeah.
better compliment, right?
No.
There's no better compliment
It means we're doing something right.
than doing something to positively impact somebody's life.
Right.
And that's what coaching is, and honestly, being a part of, I guess, education side of educational athletics, I guess, with this. But yeah, been a lot of fun. Brock, you mentioned a little bit, but tell us about, I guess, your family and kind of what do you like to do outside of coaching basketball.
Well, outside of coaching basketball, it's all about my girls, right? So my wife, Nicole, we got married in 2018. My oldest, Sage, she was born in 2020, right before the sectional.
I remember that.
Dang
yeah.
it, Sage.
I remember that.
Like, couldn't wait 3 more days, right?
Selfish.
I forgot about that.
Couldn't wait 3 more days. And then Sadie was born last 2023. She's Cinco de Mayo baby, so that's fun.
Oh,
Day
that's
after
the day
your
after me. Yeah.
Fiesta.
I don't know.
Fiesta.
Fiesta all the
I
time.
don't think I knew that.
So,
Yeah, she's a day after
yeah.
me.
Yeah, we're building a new house, so we're
yeah.
living
nice.
with the in-laws right now. So my mother-in-law, a great cook. So
Hey.
Hey,
my wife's
there we go.
my wife's a dietitian. Can't tell. Right?
Can't tell.
tell.
Do you listen to her, or do you?
I get scolded a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I get scolded a lot. You sure you need to eat that? Does that make you feel good if you
It
eat that?
sure does.
It definitely does.
It sure does.
Tastes really good, but no, we we go to the zoo. We have a zoo membership. We were just
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis Zoo.
I think we're gonna get that this year.
We were just talking about Disney, right? Like,
Yeah, yep.
like we go to Disney once a year, it seems like, and our girls love that. We're big into princesses and big into Frozen and all that stuff.
Yes,
And
Frozen.
so during basketball season, I don't get to see them much, right?
Right,
So we try to
right.
take advantage of every free day we can. And when you live down there, it's Christmas festivals and
yeah,
lights and
Bunch
meet
of
Santa and
Nice
of
being
stuff
close
to
to that
do.
stuff.
you walk through and do all that stuff. So I'm trying to get Sage into something, right? Like I think she's catching on to basketball a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it may be more like now that Sydney's hurt, she comes over and like Sydney holds her tablet and feeds her snacks. So I think
Yeah.
I think
that
that's more
helps,
of
yeah.
it. But like she's asking
But
to come
she's
to
seeing
basketball.
it. Yeah.
Sadie's too. She's not old enough to even know what's what, but she might be my
getting there.
she might be my athlete. But it'll be interesting to see their personalities continue to grow and what they get into. We had Sage in gymnastics, and she loved it, and now she could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And she's in swimming. Seems to really like that.
Oh, nice.
That'd be
Sadie
fun.
likes to bite people.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
She's into biting people
She's a
and slapping
professional
people,
biter.
Yeah.
slapping people in the face. But whatever. She may be my aggressive one. You never
Yeah.
know. But
Right.
we're at that stage where they pick at each other pretty good, right? Take each other's toys, pull each other's hair. So
Still love
it's,
each other every now and again.
we were fighting over a snow globe this morning before we went to daycare. So it's the little things. It's the little things.
Yeah.
But being a girl dad, there's no there's
I don't know
no,
anything else, I guess, but yeah, it's
a-
awesome.
it's an experience. It is awesome, but it's an experience for sure.
And as we said, you made the transition, but growing up in Winchester and going to Winchester, you were on, if I remember correctly, you were on back-to-back state finalist teams, right?
Yeah, we played in 2 state finals, 2007, 2008. I was a junior, senior that year.
Tell us a little bit about that. I've been on a couple sectional winning teams. Well, one sectional winning team, but obviously the state is a whole different ball game.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a really cool experience, right? Like it's, and we talk about it all the time with our groups and our kids and our players, but, success drives memories. Like I played baseball and football in high school too, and I couldn't tell you what the score was of anything or what was what. I just knew I wasn't very good at either one of them, right? Like I thought I was good, but but success drives like memories. Like every great memory you have is with that team or with that group of guys, and it was just like any of the other kids. Like we started at third grade and played all the way up through.
All the way up, yeah.
You start with 12 kids in your grade, and you end with, I think we ended with 5. And but life takes a hold of you, right? So we don't get together very much or see each other at all, but you know where everybody's at. And,
stay in touch enough.
You'll always have that. You'll always have that bond because, like, the journey, right? Like we talked about it at Winchester, like winter sports season. You got 5-6 months of spending the same time, almost every day
with each other,
right? So, we would go to Frickers and eat. We go to B-Dubs and eat. We go to get Made Rights. We go get Made Rights in Greenville, El Carrollton. It seems like that we were doing something every night after practice. And like when you spend that much time with people, like it's inevitable to I guess love them, right? Like brothers, and because you spend more time with them than you do with your parents or your sister or whatever,
whoever.
But I mean, there's no substitute for winning, right? Like there's a lot of people out there that it's just a game or it's I'll get it next time. But when you win, there's no greater feeling than cutting nets down and the fire truck tour through town, the newspaper articles that your parents cut out and
keep
my dad's
forever.
My dad's got binder after binder of
shout out to Rick Reed.
Binder after binder of newspaper clippings, and it's like. He's like, I remember when you were a junior and we went to, it's like, people live for that. Like, that's
especially
like
Randolph County sports.
Just Randolph County in general.
Well, it's like I went to the game the other night, and there's people there that they're sitting in the same seat that they sat in
years ago,
15 years ago when you were playing, right? And they come up and say hi to you.
See the same people.
And then I remember when I first got the job here, people were like, oh my God, you're from Winchester. And I'm like, sorry
about that.
Like, what do you do? Like, you can't help where you're born or where you're raised.
No, you can't.
But
you chose correctly.
Exactly.
Monroe Central pays my bills now.
Exactly.
But but no, it's it's something like we play at Conseco at the time. Now it's Gamebridge. It's like you just kind of feel invincible, right? Like as a high school junior and senior, and you're playing for semi-states and state titles, and you have the town of Winchester's population's like 5,000 people, and the field house is full every night, right? 3,000 people every night watching you play, or the bus rolls up and you're playing at Seymour and there's 1,000 people in line waiting for the gate to open,
tickets,
right? Like that's really cool. Like that's old school, like
Indiana basketball.
That's old school Indiana basketball, and Monroe Central's had some really good teams over the time. Like Coach Duncan had the semi-state team a couple years ago that Rick Brown was on. A couple years ago, it's been 15 years ago now.
It's Adam's senior year.
Yeah, my senior year.
But you just don't ever like success drives memories, right? Like nobody remembers sitting in a student section of a team that didn't win anything.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I guess
we both let him. So
I guess if you make complete fools out of yourselves, I guess those are memories, right?
That was us.
But but like you said, it's you wins and titles and all that. That's what you remember. You might remember some of those certain games here and there, but not as much as those.
Well, when we talk about like team success drives individual success,
right?
Like there's not a college coach that's going to come in here if you've won 3 games and going to recruit you, right? But if you're on a championship team, if you're won 18 games or like success is addictive.
Yeah, right.
Like success is addictive. Like once you start, win a county a couple of years in a row, or you win a sectional a couple of years ago. Well, now you notice that there's more people in the stands,
right?
Or there's more students in the student section, or there's more people that want to play basketball.
And then that coach could come for one and leave with 2, 3. You know.
Yeah, it's all about
how it is.
It's all about building. Like that's the cool thing about doing that ECI league on Sundays is
that was my next question.
You have like the BYB kids, right? That we have like K through 6, and we have the BYB camp this year, and you have them for a week, and you have a great time with them, and you cut up with them, and now I can watch them on Sundays, right? I can watch our 3rd and 4th grade team yesterday. I can watch our 6th grade team, 5th and 6th grade team.
And that helps tremendously.
Yeah.
You can watch those kids play, and where if we didn't do that, if we didn't do that fundraiser, I wouldn't be here on a Sunday, like
Right.
like watching those kids. But yeah, I mean, success drives. I mean, you know just as well as I do. Like, success makes money. Success makes memories.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, success is fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Success is fun.
Got to get through some of those down years every now and again.
Yeah.
But you just look forward to the other ones.
Mhm.
It's good. I was gonna ask you about the ECI league and everything. Now, was that already happening when you got here, or was that started with you guys?
So they used to do it on the boys' side.
Okay.
So ECI's been around for years.
Okay.
Like, we've been doing it. Like, we would do that. We would host that when I was in high school over in
okay.
Winchester. Like, we would work that on Sundays. And,
Oh, okay.
And it's a great, like,
Fundraiser.
feeder system. Get kids playing, right?
Yeah.
It isn't, you know, I don't think you can press and up until like 5th grade or something, which is fine. It's all about getting kids playing and
Yeah.
developing. But, you know, Delta's got teams, Wapahani's got teams, Shenandoah, Muncie's brings teams over, and there's different host sites, and people rotate and use it as a fundraiser, and that's how we
cool.
pay for.
That's cool.
You know, it's how we pay for all our, the nice stuff that our kids have.
Yeah.
So, you know, as bad as our kids think I treat them, like they get about
They
anything they want.
They are spoiled. The girls' basketball program has been spoiled for a while. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it creates, and that gives extra time with the kids that, you know, we're outside of basketball.
Yep.
And we're just hanging out, cutting up on a Sunday, and you know, they're putting in their shifts so that, you know, they're doing their part. And
Getting ready for the future.
but yeah, I mean, ECI's been around forever, and they you know, they rotate it around, and everybody gets a little piece. Everybody that wants a piece gets a piece anyway. But if it wouldn't be for people hosting, like, the kids wouldn't have anywhere to
wouldn't
play.
have any. Yeah.
Yeah. How many? 4? You guys host 4 times? Is that
5.
right? 5.
Host
Okay.
5 times.
Yeah.
So it goes
It's
for-
hopping, man. I went by
that's
yesterday.
cool.
I had to come get. I stopped by and get something yesterday. I can't remember what it was, and I came in. I'm like, holy crap!
Now, is that the high school or the elementary?
So we have it here. So we
Okay.
have hall gym. So we run it sideways. So we have hall gym, 2
Oh,
gyms,
okay.
2 courts in hall
Yeah,
gym, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
2 courts in the main gym. And
Oh, cool.
Hall gym gets a little tight
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's
The
not
seating
quite,
is-
it's not
yeah.
quite set up, but we make the best of it. But yeah, people pack in here. You know, grandparents and parents and
yeah.
families, and it gets a little crazy at times. You know, just like anything else.
yeah.
Any other sporting event, it gets a little
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, it goes pretty smooth, and you know, we make our money off of it. We get to see our little kids play, you
Yeah.
know, our younger teams, and
Those are fun ages too.
yeah,
We got some talented groups coming up too. I heard.
we do. We got a lot of talent on both sides.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like-
and numbers. That's huge.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah, we got. There's a lot of good groups coming up on both sides. Players, teams. It's the future is pretty bright
Yeah.
here if we can get kids to stay
To
with
stay,
it.
yeah.
Which we obviously you and I know, Brock, but the junior high has this year 7th grade has been dominating, to say the least. And then 8th grade we have 4 girls, but we have a few 7th graders come up. So we're graduating 3 this year. Hopefully get 4, so we'll go back to 11. But the following year, hopefully we get back to JV varsity, and then
Yeah.
hopefully from there we don't have to worry too much about that anymore, because it seems like all the numbers lower in the elementary are pretty good.
Well, you know, it's like we've yet to be able to like stack classes together,
Yes.
right? Like
Yes.
you know, Sydney, Addie, Maley,
Yeah.
like they don't. You know, Avery's the only junior that we have,
Mhm.
right?
And no sophomores.
No
Yeah.
sophomores.
Right.
So it's like, okay, now there's a 2-year gap.
Yep.
Yep.
So now Avery's going to be the only senior next year, and now you bring in 6 freshmen, but you only bring in
Yeah.
4 8th graders if they all play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, it's nice to stack classes
Back to
together
back,
and
yeah.
and be able to have 15, 17, 18, 20 kids in the gym and have a full JV
And they all
varsity. and
play with each other.
now it drives my bills up, right?
Yeah. Then all
like-
the stuff.
Yeah, the bills get driven up when you don't have, you know, 10, 11 kids, but you know, that you just can't substitute kids being active and doing things, and you play for your school and you play for your community, you know, just like the other night, like we won at Winchester and Beach sent that.
That was
like
cool.
that was really
Yeah.
cool, right? Like, you know, it's like, hey, just that shows you how much like our community cares about you,
Oh yeah.
right?
And
and-
that's that's arguably the best thing is
Yeah.
just having the community behind you and know you and
And for an away game, we may have had a better crowd than what Winchester did.
And that's usually how it goes. I mean, for the most part, I feel like, away games we've always had very good crowds.
Yes.
On our side of the court or diamond or whatever you want to say.
Winchester and MC games are always going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Our student
Especially
section was
basketball.
really good.
Student section was great. We had more kids. We had more students than they did. I thought that was a little bizarre.
It was like
and
middle of third quarter, fourth quarter. It was like, I did like the fan in me or the coach in me, right? You're trying to keep it together. Like you're not trying not to be too high. You're trying not to be too low.
Yep.
But, it's like by the end of the game, like I'd played every minute. Like I was sweating. I was like dripping sweat. Like girls like, you came in the locker room and you could barely even breathe.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, first of all, I'm out of shape.
First of all, calm down.
First of all, I'm out of shape. Second of all, don't point my health out.
Nicole, your wife does it enough, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I was walking on the
You do
treadmill.
with that at home.
I was walking on the treadmill last night. I think I tweaked my hammy. I mean, that's where we're at.
That sounds like me.
Like
Yeah.
that's where
Now
we're
you got
at.
to see me again.
Yeah, now you gotta go see KP. I gotta get in here early for treatment.
I'm Brock's personal physician, I think.
Yeah.
I figured out.
I tell my wife that's the thing I miss most about Anderson's the full access to the training room.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
go in there from like 8 to 8 and just
Do whatever.
Whatever you want.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
She's like, how are you ever an athlete? And I'm like, I had a lot of help, I guess.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Anderson. I don't know if I've actually asked you too much about
What do you want to know?
just anything. You played all 4 years there, correct?
Yeah, I played
How
for-
was it being a collegiate athlete at Anderson, I guess?
Well, it's
because I don't have any experience.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
athletic training, I got to see a little bit of it, but
Well, it's a huge learning curve, right? Like anytime you go, it's just like high school, except
Yeah.
for you're going and playing with, when I went to Anderson, I was a freshman. I was playing with dudes from Pike and Orange North, and
big schools.
And then you get kids from Knightstown and Lapel, and you mix them together. But in D3, they don't give athletic scholarships. You get invited to play, and if your grades are good enough, like they
Give you
find a
some
way
money.
to.
get some academic stuff.
Like I went to Anderson for the same amount it would have been to go to Ball State, right?
Right.
They got hooked. So it's like, okay, well,
That's
That's
huge.
Yeah, that's big.
if I'm going to go to college, like I'm going to play.
Right. Yeah. You're not.
And it's
gonna-
probably best because if I didn't play, I don't know if I'd have finished.
You got to figure
Right.
it out.
Yeah. That'd
I
be.
don't know if I'd have finished, but I
Yeah.
really liked my college coach, Tom Slider, and we still talk every now and then. And but it's the same thing. Like you spend even more time with your teammates.
Way more time,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Right? You spend
That's
even
all-
more
that's
time
all
with your
your
teammates.
That's why you're there.
24/7.
And
Yeah.
you know where everybody's at and what everybody's doing, but you never see them. You never
Right.
talk, and life
Yeah.
gets busy. And,
Yep.
and every time they have an alumni event, like you're busy doing
Yeah.
something.
You have
or,
something else going on. Yeah.
like in their basketball teams have been pretty good here. But I played 4 years there and had a really positive career and experience there and made a lot of friends. And but it's just like anything else. Like you got to be willing to put the work in. Like there was no scholarship keeping me there. It was just the
Yeah.
want to. Right?
Right.
It was. And again, like if I didn't play, probably wouldn't have finished there.
Yep.
But
Yeah. Yep.
and Anderson's like a big high school, right? Like my wife went to Hamilton Southeastern, and they graduated with, she had 3,000 people in her
Goodness
class.
gracious.
There were 1,000 people in her class. Like you
That's
go to Anderson,
wild.
and there's, there's 3,000 people on the
Total.
campus.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's small enough where you can walk to one end in 10 minutes, but unless you're specific about it, like you don't have to.
You don't have to.
They have great facilities over there. Their athletic training facilities are great.
Yes, they are.
Their football stadium is good. Their basketball, the O.C. Lewis
The indoor track facility.
we had really good crowds there. What is it, Kardatsky Center? Is what
That
it's
sounds right.
Kardatsky.
Yeah.
But they've got superior, facilities over there, and it's located right between Indianapolis and, so. But it's expensive to go there, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's really expensive to go there.
Yeah.
But if you're going to pay your own way, like I paid my own way, so you have a little bit of stake in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Helps
it's
you out
like,
a little
What
bit.
you? Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm going to be paying these bills.
Uh huh.
Let me actually do something here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you take out the money, and then when it's the bill, when the payments start coming out, you're like,
Oh yeah.
oh,
Yep.
oh, this is what
This is
This is what happens. Yeah.
this is what that confirm button meant 4 years ago.
Yeah. Wait a second.
$1,200 a
Dang
month.
it.
Yeah. Right here.
Yeah. Here you go. Yeah.
Yeah, $1,200 a month, please.
Yeah.
Did you have any teammates from around here during that time?
No, no, I didn't have any teammates from Randolph County. I graduated with a guy, Andrew Bowman. He was from.
Like I've heard that name.
He played at Center Grove. He's like a
name
pilot. He's an
sounds
Air Force
familiar.
pilot. He
nice.
flies for
Oh,
FedEx
cool.
now, and I get all the Snapchats where he's like hovering countries, and it's like, dang, to be that
Yeah.
guy.
That's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
To be that guy. But
Yeah.
Andrew Jones was from Noblesville, and he coaches at Hamilton Heights now, and Gabe Miller is was from Hauser, which is down south.
Hauser.
He won a
Heard of
state
it.
championship at Hauser. He was like 6'3" point guard, left-handed.
Nice.
Great dude. He coaches at Wisconsin Parkside, so he's trying to get his foot in the door in coaching. And
Move up.
yeah, so those are 3 of my probably better teammates that I've had over there that I got to play with. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the best teammates are the ones that you get to
Yeah,
spend the
actually,
most time
yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Like the guys that were seniors when I got there. Like you don't really vibe in a
No,
year or
yeah.
whatever. But and then at that level, people come and go. Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's-
Even more so now.
I was gonna
Right.
say
It's
now,
just like-
even
you recruit, you bring in 10 kids a year, and by the time first practice happens, there may be 6 kids left. And,
Yeah.
and if they do make it, it's like, okay, well, how many are going to come back as sophomores?
right.
Right. And we were fortunate enough that I thought we had really good talent there. Like I thought that we had guys that probably could have got scholarships that were playing, D3 in that conference, and we had a lot of success and just really thankful. We played in the NCAA tournament my sophomore
Awesome.
year. We
Oh,
went
that's
to
cool.
we were 23-6, which
Dang.
at that time was I think it was a school record at that
Oh
time.
yeah, that's fantastic.
And so Manchester, which is we
Oh,
beat
Manchester.
Manchester in the conference tournament, and then we got beat by Defiance. So we were picked to win the league, and Defiance upset us that year. But we ended up getting an automatic bid to went to Kenosha, Wisconsin to play at Carthage. So
Oh, cool.
we upset the number 3 team in the country that year, and then got boat raced. We got boat raced by Carthage, which is the home school.
Oh, okay.
They had a kid up there, he played for his dad. And there was like rumors that he'd turned down like Northwestern and Illinois to play for his
Oh,
dad.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
at Wisconsin, all the D3 schools are public.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So if you don't go to UW,
Yeah.
then you
Otherwise,
just stay home and
Yeah,
just play
right.
for dad or whatever. But
Yeah.
he had like a quadruple double or something. It was like
Goodness
40
gracious.
and 10 and 11.
Gosh.
Like it just the stat sheet just poured
Kept
over
going.
the table.
Stupid. Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. It was a cool trip. It was a fun ride. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess tell the first Morrison that I knew was Jill Morrison, your sister.
Some say that's the best Morrison.
Oh, okay. Would
Depends on who
you say
I
that?
always lead with that because I don't like people hurting my feelings.
Okay.
I always lead with that.
Yeah,
one.
that's a good
I think
thing
you
to lead
both
with.
are wonderful people, and that's
Now
all that
my
matters.
wife would say I'm the best Morrison.
Right.
So that's the only
Right.
thing that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
in the end.
Right. Yeah. In the end.
Tell us a little about Jill, what she's doing now, all that.
So Jill's back home. They live in Winchester. Her and her husband.
See her on the billboards.
Yeah, she's got
Yeah.
a billboard out here at Parker.
Yep.
And she's working for Tartar Realty, selling homes, slinging homes off the market. Good old Randolph County.
Is that what she was doing before?
No, she worked for Enterprise right out of college, and
Oh,
she
okay.
was working her way up through the ranks there. And then they had their son Baylor,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of years ago, and they were living in Noblesville, and she wanted to be home more, right? Like when you're in the car business, like you're never home.
No. Yeah.
Right, so when you have a kid, like you want to
It
spend time
changes
with
the
them,
game, yeah.
right? So she
Exactly.
jumped from the rental side to the sales side, and then she got out of it so she could be home, right? She gets home and
Is able
Baylor
to be able to be there.
yeah,
Yeah.
Baylor was already asleep, right? So she's
Right.
like, I got to do something else.
Yeah.
So then
Oh,
she
yeah.
kind of tried to figure out what she wanted to do, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm gonna go and sell houses, sell real estate. And I'm like, what? Like, where are you going? She's like, I'm moving back. I'm like, what?
Wait a second.
Why?
You're gonna move away from Cold Stone? Like, you're gonna move. You're gonna move away from Ale Emporium to go back to Randolph County, but I don't know. They live out. They live out the golf course.
Adam and
right?
I aren't the people to
Yeah.
ask about that.
like hey, and there's things like I would die for a maid right every once in a while.
Yeah.
Or El Keratin,
Yeah.
or the Chinese restaurant,
Yeah.
or there's certain things around here that you'll never find anywhere else.
Yeah. No,
right? It's
right.
like now my wife doesn't like any of those things,
Of
but I'm
course she
like,
doesn't.
yeah, she's.
Well, you can go with us.
Yeah. We'll all go together.
but there's things around here that you'll never find, and then there's things
Right.
You know,
You
we
guys-
There
live-
that we won't have. Yeah.
we live in Fisher, so it's like everything's at
You
your
have,
fingertips.
you have
but-
everything.
Oh, yeah, you have
Especially
everything.
now. I mean, that's expanding like crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
my God,
oh, yeah.
it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts. But yeah, Jill's back home. They live out the golf course. They're getting ready to have their second boy.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So,
you got
they're-
the girls, she got
Yeah.
the boys.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we got an equal balance.
There you go.
And but they're getting ready to build a new house themselves,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So I think they're going to
Oh,
settle
cool.
in permanently.
Out there, or
I think it's going to be like out by the high school, out past Silvertown on Union City Pike
Yeah, yeah,
somewhere.
Oh, okay. There's some nice houses out there.
But we were down. We try to come over here once a month and get the kids together and my parents, and
Yeah.
so we were over there last 2 Sundays ago, just as a
Hanging
get together,
out,
and
yeah.
you just like you get together, like, okay, what's new, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's always
let's update each other.
There's
Yeah.
always a small town rumor, or there's always a
absolutely.
There's always a small town rumor. There's always a
Absolutely.
story that happened that's like, hey, you won't believe this.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like,
Okay,
try me. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Is, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, she was playing a lot of golf, and then obviously they're having a second kid, so she can't do that. But and she's been very successful with real estate, and I think she's on social media quite a bit. So I mean, I'm sure everybody, Jill's one of those people everybody likes,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like she has that personality and
Yeah.
and that she has that personality and that drive that. Like if you don't like Jill, like something's wrong with
Yeah,
you,
so
right?
you're the wrong person.
Right? Like I'm the easy target. Like, hey, he stinks. Right?
I would never say
But
that, Brock.
but yeah, she's like I've always told people like she has that like multiple personality that she can connect with
anybody,
and like be their best friend like on
Like
the dot.
that.
Like
Yep.
it's an art, really. Like it's impressive.
Yeah.
We were the same age, so we kind of grew up. Well, I didn't know her that well during high school, but she was always fun to watch on basketball. I tell you that much. But yeah. Well, I think this brings us to the Craig Knuckles dad joke section.
No,
Brock, are you a dad joke fan?
We had a running thing last year with Maylee and Avery where we'd come in every day and
I
we'd
can
tell
see
jokes,
that.
and we lost it. And
Well, maybe you pick it back up to that.
I'm like,
Yeah.
hey Avery, did you? And then she'd always know the answer. Like I just did.
Oh.
I was upset.
Freaking Avery.
So I'm like,
about
okay,
right.
well I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
like,
while we're talking about Avery,
yes.
I don't know if she
Yeah.
watches or she
Yep.
listens.
Yep.
Avery,
Good job.
you've
We're proud of
listened
you.
2 podcasts in a row. We can't talk crap right now.
Yep.
She didn't listen for a long time. We would talk crap about her.
Every
but-
single
well, what's the
podcast.
code word this time?
Oh, that's true.
oh yeah,
Biscuits.
biscuits. Yep, biscuits.
I don't know why that
Avery,
came to mind,
reach out.
but
School, you
biscuits.
message me. Biscuits.
Yep.
All right, dad
Okay.
jokes.
I didn't look at these either like last week. So, this is good for this type of year. What kind of music do elves listen to? Rap music.
That's pretty good.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
pretty good.
Seasonal.
Yeah.
pretty good.
Why aren't lobsters generous? Because they're shellfish.
Do you ever sit here and like you rack your brain like what could the answer be, and then you're like, oh, like that's what it is.
About
Like,
every joke I
every-
hear.
what an idiot.
Every
time.
single joke
Every
I
time.
hear. Yep.
Becky.
Let's.
Gavin Swoblin and Zoe Hood. Please
That's not
come to
Becky.
the office.
No, I don't know who that is.
How dare they?
And then we'll do this as
It
the
is
last
3
one.
o'clock.
Where did people hang out during medieval times? At nightclubs.
Ooh.
Nice.
Knights of the Round Table there.
Yeah, right.
Monty Python.
Yep.
Brock, real quick, because we are about to the end of the school day. We've asked, I don't know if we have in the last couple episodes, but are you a movie guy?
I used to be a big movie guy. Like
right.
I don't have much time for movies now.
That's
I kinda
true,
Like,
yes.
I kind of like
So,
the
yeah.
series, right? I kind
Yes.
of like the series because you can sit down.
Oh,
When you got a 4-year-old and you got a
big
1-year-old,
TV series guy.
like you can sit down and you can watch a 30 to 45 minute episode, but to sit down and watch a 2-hour movie,
No, not
It's
going to
about
happen.
impossible.
Not going to happen.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you anyways. Even from years prior, top 3 movies
Ever?
ever in your
No
realm.
genre, no nothing.
Nope. Top 3.
Miracle on Ice.
Yep. Yep.
Herb.
Um,
Is that Herb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoosiers.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Right, like that's
Uh-huh.
like it. Well, that's kind of like the Christmas story
Mom
on
and-
Christmas, right? Like the Hoosiers. If
Oh,
Hoosiers
yeah.
is on, like
You're
you're watching
watching
Gene
it.
Hackman.
Yeah.
Right?
Our mom and Uncle Chad were in the crowd.
Like,
Fun
I
fact.
don't know. Number 3, probably Billy Madison.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
Like
that's a
like
good
the
one.
old Adam
I haven't
Sandler
seen
movies,
Billy
like
Madison
the
in
90s,
forever.
Yeah.
like Waterboy,
Yeah.
Yes.
Billy Madison,
Adam Sandler was on one, man.
Big Daddy,
Big Daddy's a great
Happy
one.
Gilmore,
Yeah.
like just a fantastic run.
Oh, yeah.
right, like Goat run.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And he's still
And he's
that
still
man's worth like
making-
$500 million.
Yeah, and that's what I'd want to be like as a
Just Adam
as
Sandler, celebrity.
a
Play
celebrity,
pickup
yeah.
basketball
Just have
and
a ridiculous
and
amount of money,
I mean,
and
the-
then just
the-
dress
the-
like
The
that.
comedies that these kids are missing out on these
Oh
days
my
are
gosh,
just-
They don't
oh
know.
my god, they have no idea.
They're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you've never seen, and they're like, no, what is
That's
it?
when
I'm
you
like, oh
have
my God.
movie night after practice.
Yes.
Well, some of that stuff
Ooh.
you can't watch.
Well, that's true.
It's frowned upon.
It's frowned.
Yeah, that is
definitely,
true.
Definitely,
That
yeah.
is true.
Definitely in
The
2024.
good ones
Yeah.
are frowned upon.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
I mean, what
All-
comedies? What comedies PG?
It's not. Yeah, that's the thing.
They used to be back then, not quite now.
Yeah.
We usually ask about favorite MC memories. We already talked about that with Randolph County. Brock, we usually end the podcast, as you know, you've listened before, with shout-outs. Is there anybody that you would like to shout out?
What regard?
Just
Just a shout out.
yeah.
I just shout out our kids, right? Like I feel like we're really turning the corner as a team. You know, it's I wasn't super happy with the way Randolph Southern ended. Wasn't super happy with how we played at Northeastern, even though it was better. Wasn't really happy with the way we started at Winchester, right? And but the way we finished all year, you know, like Charlie and Hayden and Oakley and all stepped up huge for us in the fourth quarter and overtime at Winchester. And I'm hoping that we can really build off that, and it kind of shoots us out of a cannon going into, you know, the conference season, county tourney, and
When's next home game?
tomorrow.
Shenandoah.
Shenandoah.
Shenandoah after our junior high. So
Yeah, our junior high.
junior
playing
high is
in
5 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock most likely. 8th
I'm gonna
grade.
put that
7.
on my calendar. I might try to come.
But,
7-ish.
but yeah, shout out to our kids. Shout out to my wife, right?
Good call.
Like backbone.
Yeah.
Like the backbone, like the single mom during basketball season. Like I make that joke, but it's legitimate.
true,
Like if,
Yeah, it's true,
if
and I
you've
feel like
never,
true, yeah.
if you've never been a coach's wife, or if you've never been an athletic director's wife, or if you've never, you know, it's the amount of time that she spends with our kids and doesn't, you know, every once in a while you get a gripe like, like,
You know that's
like,
gonna happen. Yeah.
oh, you left 15 minutes late from practice.
What were you doing?
Right. Right. Like you talk too much, but you know, like sometimes it's like last week it was Monday through Sunday, right? Like, like she picks kids
legit.
up from daycare and
Every
does
day.
everything. So shout out to my wife Nicole.
Gavin Swobland. Please
I'm not
come to
shouting
the
out Becky, tell you that much.
office. Gavin Swobland.
I would like to all three of our sports. We have 4, I guess technically. All 4 of our winter seasons. We had a big win, boys basketball at Daleville. We of course had what we talked about, girls basketball at Winchester. Our girls wrestling team really did phenomenal. They only had 3 of them wrestle, and we got 7th overall in a big invitational. Reagan Quattlebaum and Kiara Lawrence both got 1st, and Chelsea Herman got 2nd. And then boys wrestling had their first last Monday with Blackford and dominated. Nice. So I'd like to shout out all of them, and of course,
Good Lord.
it's a little bit extra long.
That was a lot.
And of course, I'd like to shout out
that thing kills my
Yeah.
coach's
Oh,
office.
Yes.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Like you jump out of
so
your chair.
small.
You jump
Yeah.
out of your chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tiny.
And of course, my wife Kinsey, Reese, and Star.
I'm gonna shout out both boys and girls for beating Winchester, both basketball
That's what I'm
teams.
talking about. Yeah.
Yep, that's big.
All right. I didn't say it. Sponsor of the podcast, Stop and Sip in Parker City. Have you been there before?
Have not been there.
Go, Brock, you gotta go.
Was it a coffee shop?
Yep. Coffee shop, business and gravy, lunch. They
Lunch
got
now.
chef salads, all that kind of chili.
I love salads.
Yeah.
Yeah, their salads are fantastic.
Impeccable hot
Fantastic.
chocolate. I
Yeah,
had
their hot
Saturday.
chocolate's good. Yeah.
And then if you're listening, you can also watch on YouTube the Bear With Me podcast. If you would like to look at it, I think a lot more people watch than listen. So we appreciate that on the camera. Brock, we'll end. We'll look at the camera and we'll say "Go Bears" after 3.
Oh, I get to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
All right.
With the finger?
Yep. With the fingers.
Absolutely. All right. So after 3, 1, 2, 3, Go Bears!